Are live. I see Angela popped on and said good morning. Good morning, Angela. We'll have a really good appointment. I'm going to check the various channels right now to see. It looks like at least my Facebook is working there. Um, One of them is. Anyway, let's turn on the other one. So fun. So fun, so fun. Here we are. Here we are. Okay, we are live here on my personal page. And then I'm just checking. I'm pretty sure we're live on my page. Yes, we are live on my page. I know I do this every single time, but I know we're live on YouTube because I'm getting messages. So welcome everybody. I got your message, Angela. So hi, Tammy. Hi, gang. Hi, everyone. As people start to come on, I love waves and hearts and all kinds of little things. This is such a I'd say labor of love, but it's not really a labor of love. There's no hardness to it. Hello, Richard. Welcome back. Glad to see you. Yeah, it's been quite the week. Hi, Tammy. That's how's the weather by you, Tammy? We're at 99 feel, and I'm at the lakefront here. Hi, Mom. Everyone say hello to my mom. That's Vivian Tatel. So if you're wondering if that's my mom, that's my mom. Mm-mm-mm. Yeah, so we're nowhere near as hot as the Southwest, but about 100 here. Yeah, it's 99 here. Feel it's very humid. So I've got, I don't know if anybody saw, there was a meme going around like Facebook about girls with curly hair feeling like alpacas. And I feel like that's about right. I had perfect hair and then went outside for just a minute. Uh, so everybody's saying hi to everybody else and welcome. This has been quite the week. I just want you to know that you are here to help me also. Um, Kick off my birthday weekend. My birthday is Monday, July 31st. I am a Leo. I was born at 6:02 p.m. for all of you astrology buffs out there. If that might be too much information, but I don't know. Um, oh, I bet you need the year. Well, I might tell you that later. I might tell you later. So yeah, it's not humid. Oh my God, it's no, it's like it's well, I guess it's 60% humidity here. Yeah. Yes, Richard, this week flew by so fast, but then at the same time, it felt like last Friday was about 5 years away. It was just I don't know. It was like this kind of multi-dimensional. There was thank you so much, Janet. Welcome. Thank you for being here. That's very nice. Thank you. And whoa, happy birthday weekend. Yeah, it's weekend. I don't know if it's a week. I've been kind of laying low all week, to be honest. But once I'm done tonight, I have all kinds of like I'm going. My mom's taking me to lunch tomorrow. I'm going for like a brunch with my nephew on Sunday. I've got reading Sunday night. It's gonna be really something. Thank you, Richard. Thank you so much for the for the birthday wishes. Your granddaughter's was yesterday. Happy Leo birthday. We're in fine company. Just fine company. But yeah, oh my gosh, I had a dream, and this is I haven't even I haven't even done my kind of introduction yet, but I had a dream the other night that, well, in the dream, I jumped dimensions, and it was like something out of that movie. I don't know. I think most of you all that are on here right this second are old enough to remember that show Quantum Leap. But I actually had this really interesting sort of conscious space where where I felt like I went from one dimension to another. So let me tell you, when that happens and you wake up, it's kind of a little bit disconcerting. Oh, Laura, welcome. Thank you for popping on. It's yeah, some weeks just do. They process differently and they seem like they're faster. And I don't know, like if you really when you really get into present time, it's very interesting how the time seems to, I mean, in spirit there's no time or space, it's just spirit, it just is. But our bodies, it just feels that way. And I am pretty sure that I for sure jumped dimensions, and I had some very strange things happen this week, just overall. And we're going to talk about some of the influences, because this has been a really crazy week. So, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. Happy end of your week, or if you're on the other side of the world, you're beginning your weekend. Welcome to TGIF, for the Curious and Enlightened end of the week wrap up. So, I am your host, Debbie Tatel from Spirit Light Insight. And today, in particular, well, every time you show up, I'm super happy that you all show up and support this, and so that I can, share in whatever I have to offer that's going to resonate with each and every one of you. So, how's everyone doing? Just keep the chat coming. I can multitask like the best of them. It's always fun to do this. I've got a whole setup. And oh my gosh, I have a light coming out of my head again. I'm going to really try to not do that. So, for the best viewing and conversation, if you want to jump over to YouTube, that is the best for commenting and all of that. I put the links if you're on Facebook and you're on an event. I just put a discussion in there with the YouTube link if you want to pop over to YouTube. Otherwise, it's just fine. Everything seems to be working and playing nicely together, so I'll be able to see your chat. So this week, in addition to kicking off my birthday weekend, we will not only be wrapping up the week, but wrapping up the month, wrapping up July. And there is a lot going on energetically as we lean into August. And I say lean, and you'll see why, because there's a lot going on. So I know that generally I do this, kind of end of the week, end of the month wrap up. And for this particular show, I am going to actually focus on the meditation that will be coming up, because it's going to be very rich and full of kind of reset your energy for the new month, and actually set your energy for the month. Not just that you're going to reset, but there's ways that you can energetically actually set your month, set the energy for your month, for the things that you want and the energies that you want to experience. So, yeah, with that said, in case you don't already know about the August energies, we're going to go over that. And oh, thank you, Tim. Thank you. I have a cake. I have a cake now. How wonderful. And cheers. So cheers to that. So last week, I offered an energy technique for protecting your space and basically setting boundaries without resistance. Did anyone practice that? Did anyone get a takeaway? I know I got some messages from some people during the week that they were practicing, and um, most of the messages that I got, which I kind of love, ended up in giggles, which was super fun. That folks were just kind of practicing that space and practicing having that mini me rose, or what you can call a protection rose or a decoy rose, but something that kind of takes the energy and absorbs it before it gets to you. So if anyone practiced that, I'd love to hear about it and what you noticed. And I'm actually going to take a sip of wine. I don't know what's happening. As much as it's 99 out, I have the air going. I had to put up so would you believe my green screen's on the other side? It's on the other side of my computer so that I don't get the sunshine and the glare, which is rather distracting. But yeah, so I'm going to kind of roll on. But if you practiced that, if you joined us last week, I'd love to hear what your experience was with that. But there's a lot that has gone on this week. So whether you used it or whether you didn't, it's it's great to hear from you. And Laura, I just appreciate all you share. I've had some astral dreams that others don't understand. The energy is still something I'm figuring out. Thanks for just sharing. Oh, that's so sweet. You're so welcome. I always, yes, if you send me messages, there is a very good chance I am going to answer those questions, especially when energy is not something that we can actually figure out. And that's a place where most of us get caught up, right? We try to figure out or make sense of what we're seeing and make sense of it all and put the pieces together. And sometimes that's really, in spirit, that's actually not possible. Sometimes we have these dreams, and it's best to just let them unfold and just kind of show us where they are. And so sometimes we need, including me. I have a soul tribe who I'm grateful that I can reach out to and get a reading when I have things that aren't quite making sense or adding up to me. So I appreciate all your messages. Tammy's asking me what oh my gosh. All right. What's my favorite cake? So my favorite cake is it's a Queen Anne cake from well, there's a bakery, Deerfield Bakery, up in the northern suburbs, and it is like white cake, and then it's got a layer of strawberry and a layer of bananas and a layer of strawberry and a layer of bananas, and then it's covered in whipped cream. This is not a cake I eat very often. But that's my like fancy pants. That's my Miss Fancy Pants cake. Okay, that's my decadent fancy pants cake. I think a close second is my friend Renuka, who was on here with her cat Stormy at one point. Makes these pineapple upside down, like little, almost like it's not like a whole cake. It's like these little mini muffiny things, and oh my god, dangerous. Dangerous. Hope I get one. Actually, I think I'm going to go get some super chocolate, double chocolate kind of cake. And really, I'm deciding that at my age, it's okay to eat the cake. That's great. So thank you. But yeah, Laura, I always appreciate your questions and everything. So keep them coming, everybody. By the way, if you ever want to put a fun fact about yourself in the comments, feel free to do that. I am more than welcome. I love fun facts about people. So if it's your favorite birthday cake, please put that in there. We can talk about it because the energy was so serious this week, and when I start to go over it, we're going to need some comic relief. So there you have it. Thank you so much, Peter. Thank you for coming. I love the stars and the cake. It makes me so happy. Tammy's chocolate girl. I love, I go back and forth. I like fruit desserts, but chocolate and chocolate. So, it's 4444 my time. It's angel time. So, what a great time to start. I know it's 5:44 in other places, and maybe 9 a.m. in other places. But wherever you are in the world, it's a great time to start the weekly wrap up and get ourselves going. Okay, wait though. But I will get going in a second. But I need to. Okay, so if you never understood cake, Richard, I want to know what your favorite dessert is. Like, absolutely, I want to hear about that. And Laura, love that we can enjoy food and celebrations. Well, yeah, you know what? We did not take the. All right, you're gonna hear. I'm gonna tell you the most amazing secret right now. We are spirits in a body, and we did not take these bodies not to eat the cake. We didn't take these bodies to starve ourselves per se in dieting and all of that. Even though I've done it, I mean, I've lost 86 pounds in my life and put some of it back on at this point. As I got older, I got a little bit fluffier all around. But yes, so cakes. So I mean, welcome, Maria. Thank you for coming. Oh my gosh, everybody's popping on. So Richard responded, I eat pies. Oh, peanut butter cream pie or coconut cream. I love coconut cream. How about chocolate cream? That's that's amazing. Oh my gosh, Maria. Maria says, I missed 15 minutes. Did we talk about aliens yet? No, but thank you for reminding me. I didn't have that on the docket because I went left field with all the stuff that was going on in August. Oh my gosh, how could I? I didn't even make a note about that. I'm making a note about that right now. Aliens, UFOs. Actually, I'll just start the week with the aliens and UFOs as I start the wrap up. And yes, Tammy, there are grays. There are all kinds of UFOs. So, Maria, nope, you made it just in time to talk about the aliens. So wow. Thank you for that. I knew there was something major I was missing. Um, yes, when it's time for us to cross over, we'll only regret the desserts we didn't eat. Probably, probably. Yep. But everybody has like a different thing. Like my grandma, when she was 100 years old, I think it was around 100 years old, we went out and she had a salad and she wanted anchovies, and my mom kind of got on her about it because her health. I mean, she's 100, and I just remember looking at my mom and going, "Let her eat anchovies. She's 100." Me, that would be chocolate cake, not anchovies, but that's where we are. So back to, boy, I can distract. It's amazing. So yeah, the actual news of the week before I look at the energy and kind of what I was noticing, and we'll go over all of it, but it's so incredible how suddenly, I guess these, and I forgot who they were, but they were part of this mission who testified before Congress about that, the government has UFOs, and they were doing reverse engineering on the UFOs, and they found, I guess, biological, in other words, they found remains, or who knows, maybe they found live ones. Um, Honestly, one of the first, I mean, so my reaction to that whole thing, and I'll be curious to as to your like take on this. But to me, who grew up, and my mother will absolutely attest to this. I grew up with Ancient Aliens, and I have a memory of my mom. I don't know if it was of going with my parents. I don't know if it was both of them. I don't remember, but I just remember going with my parents to see J. Allen Hynek speak at Northwestern University about UFOs, and he was like one of the leading people at that time. Mom, you can verify this or not. As we go, but so I kind of grew up with that. So to me, this is not news. Of course, the government had UFOs, and of course, they have seen or recovered what we call aliens. Maybe they're not so alien. Um, so my mom's verifying right now. Maria, put your memory in the chat so I can address it as we go. So yes, my mother's verifying, that we did that, but that's how I grew up, is all of that ancient aliens and all of that stuff. So to me, it's second. In fact, it doesn't even. It's not that it doesn't excite me. I'd be like thrilled. Like, of course, I was a Star Trek Trekkie and all of that. Live long and prosper, like all of that in Star Wars and all of those things, right? Because that's how, to me, it was just second nature. And of course they have those things. So it's no surprise. And I don't even, it's not worth like, oh, they're covering it up. Who cares if they're covering, there's a lot that's covered up. The Vatican is covering up a ton of stuff. So I just don't get quite caught up in that part of it. But I am fascinated that it is coming in this time, in this space that we are in right now. I think it's a very exciting time for us. And yeah, there's a lot of interest in all of it. My mom's still interested in it. Um, Tammy's saying she has many UFOs and a clear one in 1982. I have a good friend who goes to these ESETI conferences. I'm not even sure what they are, but they actually track UFOs. She knows way more than me. I've been massaging. Marie, if you're out there, I'm having you on this show. I swear to God, I have been kind of massaging, trying to get her to come on and talk about it because she has actual pictures and footage, and I can actually run the footage via video if she's here. But yes. And by the way, thank you, Josiane. Chocolate cake. We're back to the cake. We're back to the cake. But yeah, these UFOs, it's so Richard, I grew up feeling like an alien, if that counts. That does count. That absolutely counts. Maybe you are. Maybe you're a hybrid. Anybody see Men in Black where they had that little thing that then they couldn't remember stuff? Who knows? There's technology out there we know nothing about. But to me, it's super fascinating that we're in this space and time and they're just now opening up this space. And make no mistake, we're going to see a lot of it. As a clairvoyant, I look at the energy of it. I look at even maybe the hybrids that are on the planet. Maybe when I see folks who have founded the planet come into my reading space and I know that they have been here since the very beginning, wouldn't we call them aliens? Right? Because they helped create this planet. So I think it's a beautiful time and it's an exciting time to get that information out into the public. I'm super curious about the biological, whatever they call biologics, and what they found. I've heard for, oh my God, as far back as I can remember, I heard that they actually had bodies in Area 51. Obviously, I have no verification But there are many, many different types of aliens and races, and it's not so far off from the Star Treks and the things like that. So what an amazing thing, Maria! This is your jam. It sounds like as well. So pipe up there, put something in the comments. Love all these shares. It isn't shocking until it is, right? Until it's something, yeah. I felt something people experience, but it's risky or awkward for some of us to admit, per the UFO topic. Yeah, I agree. It's coming to the surface. Yes. And who knows what's going to come to light? Look, there's met so many different things. Wasn't I talking about, was it last week or the week before, about pyramids and all of that? How did those get here? Uh, uh, the There's technology that is here that came from somewhere. And I mentioned Billy Carter last live, but it's Billy Carson. Okay, I don't know who Billy Carson is, but that we'll probably get there at some point. But yeah, this is it's. I mean, for me, it was commonplace. I just grew up with it. So to me, I just talk to people. You know what? No wonder people would run from me. It's so far and fast. I'd be talking about stuff that nobody else is talking about. So that's the thing. But yeah, it's been a week, and I think also in the various cycles of the news, if I recall correctly, there have been many, many, many new sightings lately. Just kind of the last couple of years in all the different places. And so Tammy, oh, I'll look him up if he's on YouTube. Um, oh yeah, Richard, it makes sense. They would appear when humans are in danger of blowing up the planet. We have all kinds of help here so that we don't do that. So for anyone who is out there, good gravy. We have tons of angelic help. We have uh, spirit guides, ascended masters. We have others wherever we're in communication with. There's many, many tribes around the world, native folk who are in communication with these various factions. And so we have a lot of help. And yeah, people, we're not gonna blow ourselves up. So don't worry. And I'm gonna look that guy up on YouTube. Um, well, Maria's saying I have a memory of being in the crib. My crib was in the front room of the house. The door was open, and there was a bright light from the door and window. Hmm. And oh wait, we're threading. Yes, I was being lifted by a gray looking type, and then it went dark. Sometimes I didn't know if it was a memory or a dream, but don't remember waking up from it. Yeah, could be either one, right? Sometimes we have memories, sometimes we have dreams, sometimes we have astral travels. We have there's a lot there, and many people. I have a so people go to Sedona and people love Sedona. I went to Sedona with my mom, and I remember um, seeing there was a great T-shirt that had the little Coco Pelli. So that was like the guy playing the flute, the little Coco Pelli. So it was Coco Pelli, Coco Pelli, Coco Pelli, Alien. That was my experience in Sedona. God bless Sedona. Yes, it's a very spiritual place. That place is a portal to other universes. Period. Case closed. End of story. Like by way of me, Bell Rock, which is amazing, is an absolute portal. And I was so terrified I was going to some other planet while I was in Sedona that I didn't sleep. I think we were there for 3 days, and I did not sleep the whole time. So that was my experience in Sedona, other than meeting some very lovely spirit guides who were, in effect, guardians of the sacred sites that sometimes we as tourists go and trample on in the name of spirit and feeling energy. But I had some wonderful conversations with these spirits while we were on tour. So, but yes, and who knows, maybe they were part alien as well. And, or I don't want to call them alien because they're not human or not human form. They might have the form of our beloved ET phone home. They might have the form. I remember the first time I was in, goodness, I was controlling the energy. I was kind of keeping the energy safe in a clairvoyant reading once upon a time, many years ago. And out of the blue, know nothing about it, and they see this giant praying mantis in the corner, and I'm looking at it, and it turned its head, and it looked at me like something out of a sci-fi movie, and I was like, I don't know what is happening here, but I know this doesn't belong, and so I, handled it, and it went away. And then, of course, I asked the person who was the director at the time of the psychic school I was working at, and I was like, what is that? And I guess that's, there's all kinds of beings out there. So back to some of the comments here. Media news seems to be delicately releasing the information. Yeah, yeah, thank God. Thank God. Two golden orbs came into your yard a few years ago and shoot off together. Lewis said they were saying, I have an army behind me. Cool. Cool. That's very cool. Um, Laura's talking about portals. It's a personal experience that happens. I'm not understanding it all, but I believe people experience things differently and according to their situation. Yeah. I mean, we all have, kind of ways to various places. So this is so. Thank you, Maria, for kind of kicking off this lively conversation about UFOs. Because who doesn't want to talk about planetary stuff? Like, I don't know. Where are my Trekkies? Where are my Trekkies? Anybody out there? Y'all like y'all like the and because this also goes into time dimension and dimensional travel and all kinds of things. It everything leads. There's a lot that we don't know. So mantis would freak you out. There's things that are bigger and uglier than mantis that I don't even want to deal with. So I don't want to go into all that. Honest to God, I will reach out once again to my friend and see where she's at with it. They say Star Trek is true. Hollywood's full of writers who are incredibly powerful seers. And even think about books that were written. And for instance, Jules Verne wrote about submarines, way before. I have a dictionary that I will never get rid of that is actually my mother's, Mama, who gave me a heart. Um, my mother's dictionary from college, I think it was, that described a spaceship as an imaginary vessel with which to fly into space. So that's how old that dictionary was. So we live, we learn, we grow, we do all kinds of things. And we are only right now at the cusp of our awareness of how, in some ways, small we are in this great, beautiful, vast universe. It's so incredible. And if I mean, I'm like a space geek. If you ever, so there's a guy called the Earth Sky Guy who's like amazing. He writes for National Geographic, and so now I just follow him everywhere. Oh God, I can't remember his name right now. I just call him the Earth Sky Guy, who's constantly posting things. And then I'm always going to like NASA and space and looking at the beauty in a nebula is just something to behold. It really is otherworldly and absolutely gorgeous. And the fact that we can even look at these things is just sometimes my mind wants to just that we get to look. Oh, it said spacemen were fictional too. Yeah, I'll have to. Of course, I don't have it here because Maria reminded me to just see. This is why I so appreciate you all being here, because this would not have even come up today. And so this is a great way to kick off everything and get everybody jazzed. And it was actually like on the top of my list, and then slowly yes, Andrew, yes, that's his name. Thank you. Thank you. Andrew Fazakis. He is amazing, and he does astrology stuff too. Like he'll map out like the stars so you can see. He's really great. And he's not even like paying attention to this. Know that I'm promoting him, but he's the Earth Sky Guy on, I think, Instagram. I think he's on Threads too, and he comes up on a bunch of, I think, probably YouTube, National Geographic, all around. So if you Google that name, so thank you for that. Yeah, thanks, because I can only multitask on so many levels. That is that is the game. But thank you. What a nice, lively discussion. Janet, you did? I didn't even. Oh my gosh, you studied astronomy in school. I can only imagine that even though that was kind of the clinical, intellectual section, how do you not, like, I can only imagine astronomy that you start dreaming. Like, well, what is out there? What, I mean, I would like to meet a being from another planet, even if it chattered at me. I don't know. I think it would be incredible to see that. Oh, good, you subscribed. Tell him I said hi. No, again, I don't know him, but that's wonderful. He's great. I enjoy his posts and his information, and it's he's a but that's incredible. So, yeah, I mean, it gives us pause to dream and look and see. And heck, why do you think I so I don't know the numbers, but I can only imagine that the movie and TV industry, when it comes to science fiction, is like billions of dollars. Like it has to be. I can't imagine that it's not. So, yeah, welcome to. We can almost call this the Brave New World at this point, except for it's not like that book right now. So, if you are just joining us, I'm Debbie Tatel from Spirit Light Insight. Thank you all for joining us. We are actually, in some ways, well, we already started the weekly wrap up, but now we're getting into the energy read for the week, because to wrap up this week, I have to talk about the level of sadness and grief and pain that I was seeing in all the people that I was reading. People were at crossroads and very frustrated and having trouble with all relationships of various kinds. And with the passing of Tony Bennett last week, and then Sinead O'Connor this week, or a few days ago, we begin to not only connect with our own mortality as humans, and in spirit, when we leave the body, we're really transitioning from one space to another. We're transitioning from this body to the oneness of spirit. But we begin to think about our loved ones, maybe who crossed over. I know there were a lot of people because Sinead O'Connor was a very she had a very abusive, I believe, childhood, and she had a lot going on, and then she had a child that died and all of that, so she was in a tremendous amount of pain. I still haven't seen anything that said like how she died, but I'm guessing that at 56 it wasn't necessarily of her own volition, but I don't know. I haven't really looked at it. But we're reminded of our own mortality and sometimes the pain that we're in. And so I kind of noticed this thread uh, going through everything. And let's see here. Seem to be a lot of animals, and I'll get back to you on that, Maria. But yes, there's, and actually I talked about that a few months ago, that we're going to see many more people and animals crossing over, um, and one of the reasons is they're done. These folks are done. They have come here to do what they did, and they have fulfilled what they came here for. But this is a very interesting time for all. And let's see here. So where the airplane lady on the airplane was trending, the one who saw something in the back of the plane. Oh, and then we had news about aliens. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not even going to get into the news and all that, and address, um, yeah. But there's a lot of soul contracts coming to an end in 23 and 24, and that's really true. Um, and so that's what we all look at, but we don't just look at, we look at our loved ones, and we also, it lights up our pain anywhere where we even empathize, because all of you are healers, and so we're reminded of that. So I also noticed people, including myself, reflecting on all types of relationships. And yes, Richard, that is true. The only way to there's a lot of fear, because that's how you can control people. But so we're reflecting on all of our relationships, the good ones, the bad ones, how we see ourselves, our own self-worth, and our perceived value. And this is 100%. So this is part of our weekly wrap up because of that influence of Venus retrograde. And I want to bring this back a little bit, because yes, there's things in the news, but everything that's going on is our agreement to a collective reality. And so one of the reasons for my weekly wrap-ups here is to share energy tips so you can bring your energy back to you, step out of that fear, because most of us match it, and then most of us or a lot of us match it, or we get enraged by it, or we resist it. And then what happens is it actually adds to that energy. Even what we perceive as helpful rage adds to the very energy that we're resisting in the first place. So we're here to just really flip that on its head. Yeah. So that's one of the things, or several things I've been noticing, is everybody's been, oh, what's the use? It's like part, and some of that, by the way, is the fear that's being kind of passed around, but that, people are going to be in their same situation. People are stuck. People are at a crossroads. So everybody's kind of looking at that Venus retrograde influence, right? Relationships, self-worth, values, relationships with money, and all of that. And for me this week, one of the things that retrogrades do, and this is going to be a lot about retrogrades, and you'll see why in just a minute. But this brought retrogrades tend to bring truth. No matter what is retrograde, you're going to start seeing truth come out, and you get to deal with it. And I don't want to say respond because it doesn't necessarily need a response, but there are truths that we find out, and it's okay to embrace them and welcome them in and then move forward from that place, right? Retrogrades bring out truths that we perceived we might not have noticed what we were aware of, but we could feel it. We knew there was something there, or maybe something we just didn't want to see. And once that comes out, it's like opening Pandora's box in a sense. So that's kind of, we could call retrogrades like the Pandora's box of planets, maybe. I don't know. But yeah, we had an awareness of them. We perceived them without noticing. Right? Also coming up this week, and I'll be curious to hear what your experience was and has been, because I know several of you on here have reached out to me about soul wounds coming up and feeling attacked. There's a lot of soul wounds coming up for people and feeling like they haven't done anything, or that they're unlovable. Gosh, you hear that on reality TV all the time. Oh, I'm unlovable, or am I unlovable, or why don't people love me? That kind of thing. That you don't have any value. Um, oh, that is an interesting observation. The collapsing of Hollywood might be. Hmm. That is super interesting. We're going to keep an eye on that, because that could very well be that. Uh, I mean, that's a big truth that's been coming out in Hollywood. The writers, the people who were really the lifeblood of the movies, the TV, the sitcoms, the writers. It's all of that, have not been getting their fair share. Yeah. And they're the bottom. They're the support. If they didn't get, I mean, look at what's happening in TV right now. It's incredible. Like, you need those writers. So that's amazing there, right? But this week, the energy. Let's see. Hollywood is coming down. Morning, I heard the news that Sinead O'Connor was playing a clip of a man singing Sinatra. Life is a beautiful thing. As long as I hold the string, I'd be silly if I should ever let go. Oh, wow. Hmm. Yeah, the status quo, the things that we took for granted, lots of those things, the that we thought were being held together. I said it. Did I say it in a reading? I must have said it in a reading. I think I said it in a reading. I don't know. I get confused because I have conversations and readings and everything all the time. But I explain it like a rocket ship going off. That there's, if you watch a launch in NASA, they've got all the scaffolding, and that rocket is solid in its space, and then you see the smoke and everything, and you start to see it take off, and then it falls away. Everything falls away as it frees itself from that space. But when the energy is heavy, like it is this week, we can't actually take off. But this is a heavier than usual uh, energy that I noticed. And I got to thinking, because I do think, right? I read stuff. But as I was looking at all these different energies, I thought, well, this is different. I know about the Venus retrograde, But this is really a different space, and it feels like there's more going on, and it looks like there's layers. It just looked like a layer cake of all these things going on, of self-worth pictures clearing, and wounds healing and truths coming to light. And so when that happens, I turn to the astrology because I'm always curious at what I read. And then I go back to the astrology. And again, I always say I'm not an astrologer, so I'm going to my, my friend. I have lots of amazing astrologer friends. I had a couple of them on here the other day. I have, or on another show. And we will continue to have all that. So I look at kind of what they're saying. But when I check the astrology and wondering why this seemed, I don't want to say intense because it didn't feel intense. It just was heavy and sad and wounded, right? So it turns out that the planet and comet Chiron, which is also known as the wounded healer, so this is actually a minor comet that's very close to the sun. It's a minor planet and it is a comet, so it travels. So this is known as the wounded healer, turned retrograde on July 23rd and stays in that space until December 26th. So right by Christmas time. So Chiron the healer represents all of Chiron. So the lore goes that Chiron was abandoned as a baby, and he had all these soul wounds, and then he rose as a healer, right, to bring light and space and very powerful healer. So one of the things, and I'll be curious to know, drop in the comments if you are experiencing any old wounds coming out, any old sadnesses, I don't even know, sadness coming up. um, I'll be very curious to know, because so in one corner we've got Venus retrograde asking us to revise, release, revisit, reclaim, and all of that. And then we've got Chiron with our wounds. So this is some ways is like a perfect storm of relationship wounds bubbling up for us to clear. Just release and clear. And all of this kind of started to come up today as I was putting this together. It's no wonder, and again, I'm so grateful for Maria for bringing that up, because I did want to talk about that. But this was a beautiful way in, as we are in a space for healing and release. And in some ways, what's happening right now is a crossroads for all of us to clean up the divisions within all our relationships, within our relationship with our values, our relationships with money, our relationships with family, our relationships with friends, our relationship with the world at large. This is all coming up, bubbling up for us to heal. Yeah. And an interesting fact, because several of you have been here for almost all or many of these shows. And again, I appreciate that. Thank you. But an interesting fact that I did not know until today when I was going over, putting the information together for today's show, which, by the way, I wasn't even going to do. And then I woke up this morning. I was like, I have to do this today. I don't know why. Spirit is prompting me to do this, to gather together and to do this really cleansing end of the month meditation. And so this now started to come up. Richard's been clearing stuff, coming across old photos and writings, memories from many identities ago. Yep. that's right on. Like that's right in key. Of course, I to be honest, I chalk that all up to the fact that my birthday's coming up Monday. Like I chalked all of that up. I was like, oh, you're just lamenting because it's your birthday. And, I was doing all that. Does anybody else go through like a life review on their birthday? I don't know if anybody else does that, but I was just kind of going over all of that. But then when I realized every single one of the people that got a reading from me were asking those same questions and saying those same things. So that's kind of what prompts me to start looking at things and recognizing, because I do take things personally when things come up for me. Oh, you're being silly. You're just clear that energy, but then it's like, wait, it's a bigger energy, yeah. And one interesting fact that I did not know until doing this research today is that Chiron, and in all these years, I know about Chiron, the wounded healer, and Chiron, the planet, and what's in that phase, and all of that. I had no idea that Chiron is known as Anubis, the Egyptian. Well, really, it's the god of the underworld, but Anubis basically works with souls to help them cross over. And what an honor, that being does that. But it's incredible to me because I had alarm bells, just beautiful alarm bells go off my head when I realized that I've been talking about Anubis for the past couple of weeks, and I'm now connecting the dots as to why that was coming up so strongly for me, that suddenly I, got thrown into the Egyptian area and all of that. That was really quite something. So it's really, I love when the astrology and what I'm looking at clairvoyantly just come together just beautifully in a beautiful tapestry of validation. So on top of that, so we've got Venus retrograde till, oh, I have the date somewhere, September something. We've got Chiron, the wounded healer, in retrograde, again asking us to revisit and revise or look at wounds that we've not released or not forgiven, karma, that kind of thing. But this is where the August heads up comes in. Get ready for it. Hold on to your hats, everyone. As it turns out, by the end of August, we are going to be influenced by not one, not two, but 6 planets in retrograde, including, of course, our favorite retrograde planet that we talk about, that I've done dozens of workshops about, written dozens of articles about. But Mercury will be in retrograde from August 23rd to September 14th. I have not looked up the shadow, but I know if we're not in it right now, we're getting close to it because it starts a couple weeks ahead of time. So Mercury will be in retrograde August 23rd to September 14th. And might I add, because I do several of these workshops all the time, I have just studied this to death, okay, just because it fascinates me. That retrograde motion is actually an illusion. It only looks like it's going backwards. It's really not. But the shadow period means that the planet is starting to slow down. And then on the day that it starts, it goes what's called direct station, where it's full stop. And then it starts the retrograde motion, where the illusion is that it is going backwards. Okay, so think of it like a spinning top. If the top is spinning clockwise, it has to come to a full stop before it can go counterclockwise. And I probably did that backwards, but Nobody's counting. So we've got now 3, and then Venus is in retrograde. Well, we talked about that till September 4th. Pluto actually went into retrograde May 11th and ends on October 22nd. So it's already in retrograde. Saturn is in retrograde it started June 18th. That goes to November 4th. Neptune is in retrograde, started July 1st to December 6th. And Mars has been in retrograde. I forget the date. I looked it up, and of course I didn't write it down. It started like last year, 2 years ago. And this is just, yes, I'm getting to that. Also, there are 2 full moons in August, time of illumination. That's going to be in my newsletter, but yes. So Tammy, keep your eyes open. I already wrote it, so it'll be in there. So yes, the first full moon is on August 1st, and the second full moon is on like towards the end. I think. Where is it? I can't see it. On the that's the new moon. I have to look it up, but because I can't remember all these dates, because I have all these dates rolling. I do symbols well. Like I read images and pictures. Dates sometimes don't get stuck in my head, but yep, there are 2 full moons in August. One at the beginning, one at the end, with a new moon in between. Maria says, oh my God, I just realized what I said earlier about the Sinatra song. Frank didn't like when Sinead ripped the photo of the Pope. There you go. There's a connection. And yep, it's going to be a crazy month. That's why I really put my heart and soul into the meditation that we're going to do, so that we can clear out and really start and set your energy how you want to. Right? Yes, the second one is a blue moon. Yep, it is. I think the meaning of blue moon is isn't it that there's 2 full moons in the month? I think so. I think that's the deal. But I believe one's a super moon, but it's going to be a beautiful. So if you get my newsletter, I referred to actually the opening of it. I'll give you the hint. The absolute opening is, what can you say about a month with 6 planets in retrograde and 2 full moons? It's going to be exciting as it goes. So and Tammy, I could not find anything about it. Some of the things that we discussed in last live. So I'm still I don't know that I want to go down that rabbit hole right now, but I absolutely, because I have it on my napkin. I pulled it up again, and we're going to look at the ley lines and the pyramids. I know we're going to do that. I just have to reach out to the people who know about those things, like who are much smarter than me about it. But now that, isn't it interesting, that we brought that up? And the other thing, I got no information. I talked to several people about it, and no one knew anything. Yes. So whenever there's 2 full moons in a month, the second full moon is called the blue moon. Okay, so I had that correct anyway. Yeah. Again, so also, not only am I a night sky guy freak, but I'm also a farmer's almanac freak. And you have no idea, if you all do not check the farmer's almanac before your horoscope, you don't know what you're missing, because seriously, the farmer's almanac is amazing in its predictions and all the things that are said. But suffice it to say that with 6 planets, and actually Jupiter, the planet of expansion, is in its shadow period. So, but it's quite a while. It goes into 2024. But so that's in a slowdown, about to go retrograde, like kind of next year. So there's that piece as well. But this is a time of great healing at a soul level. This is super exciting. We're all healing. And when I talk about healing, it's not about making things better or manipulating our lives or that everything's always going to be perfect. In terms of spirit, when I talk about healing, I'm talking about returning to wholeness, restoring and connecting with our soul so that we have space and we have, uh, well, space really, to bring forth our ancient wisdom. Each one of us has a treasure trove of wisdom. And we just sometimes need to dip into our well, but we're so busy looking outside ourselves and with all these influencing energies and how humanity is, taken a left turn or whatever you would want to say about it. And we've become so connected with the body that sometimes we forget. We've got this well of wisdom as the ancient souls and old souls. And because you wouldn't be listening to this if you were not an old soul, right? You'd be like, you'd be trolling me. Let's not bring that in here, though. But with all of this retrograde soup, that's what I'm calling it. It's like, reminds me of, who was it? Oh my God, Groucho Marx did duck soup, and I just felt like I just had Groucho like run across my awareness and came up with retrograde soup. But when we have this, so many planets, and this is a big deal astrologically, we have a chance. We have an opportunity in this pause because things are being paused at various levels, whether it is our trusting ourselves, whether it is our intuition, whether it is our wisdom, whether it is our self-worth. We're revisiting so many of those things that we have a chance to pause and reflect and refine and revisit and release and forgive karma and do all those things. And so that's the beauty, where sometimes we look at these things and we go, oh my God, it's Mercury retrograde. Don't sign a contract. Don't do this. Don't do that. Of course it's a Mercury retrograde. I'm about to get a whole bunch of new, because I do real estate. I don't know if you all know that. That's something I also do. I feel like home is where the heart is, and I love helping people find in their dream homes or sell one that they're no longer interested in living in. But I can tell you with 100% certainty that when you just decide that, yep, you got to make sure that the I is dotted and the T is crossed, and you want to double check and check and check and double check, and then know that it's going to all go to shit, more than likely at some point, and you'll have to revisit stuff. Yeah. But then it's not scary. It just comes up. And I mean, all I can do is laugh during Mercury retrograde. But I can tell you this, I have signed more real estate contracts. And I tell my clients this too. I've signed more real estate contracts that have come to closing during Mercury retrograde than any other time. So what does that say? It doesn't, it one thing that it says is that I'm double checking those contracts more than I might have. Yeah. So retrogrades bring up those things that still need tending to, or that we should check. And what is, Tammy says, what is it? Calamari soup. Okay. I don't know what that is. Maria said that's nice. Yes. I think that was to the home is where the heart is. And then look up at night. I think my favorite part, Tammy, about that comment is the moon and the eyes looking at the moon. That rocks right now. So have your amusement with that. Whoops. Wait, what am I doing? Kalamati. Okay. I will look that up. Not sure. Calamari soup, maybe? I don't know. But retrogrades bring up those things that we need to visit. We need to revisit. There's so many things. Um, ooh, ooh, this was like a hint. I can't wait. I can't wait to look. Ooh, ooh, ooh. So when we begin these reflections in so many areas of our lives, we are going to probably find solutions for things that we've pondered or asked about. I know, Laura, I don't know if you're still on, Laura, but you were saying things you've been trying to figure out. You might get those solutions. You might see them while you're reflecting on them during Mercury retrograde or any of the other retrogrades. I know Mercury retrograde, the veils are kind of thinner and intuition runs very, very high and our knowingness runs very, very high as well. It's kind of a magnified situation. So we might have solutions where there were seemingly not none. It gives us an opportunity to update old projects and have our aha moments. Um, yeah, veils are thin between the ethers. Retrogrades give us pause to breathe, process, refill our spiritual cups, so to speak, rejuvenate and clear up any misunderstandings or what would you say, things that need, oh, color my TV, uh, anything that we are, that's kind of loose ends that we need to tie up, closure. That was a word I was miss. You get to be my age suddenly, like on Monday, and it all goes. It all goes, right? So I was looking for closure. So we can find a good deal of closure during Mercury retrograde, whether it's relationships or closing doors. I know several people are changing jobs and things like that. So, with all these planets in retrograde, varying degrees, this is the perfect time for reflection and cleaning up our energetic space, our energetic bubble, so that we can have it for ourselves. Oh, now I understand. Calamity soup, like Calamity Jane. Ah, it took me a minute. There's a lot of energy here. I can't always read the picture. Yeah, but it doesn't have to be calamity space as long as we take the time to turn our attention within and clear our own energetic space in this process. Yeah. So, isn't that a good little bit to have digested? Like I know it's percolating. It's all there. There's a lot going on. And what I will say is you have probably noticed it already. I know I've noticed it already, especially in the relationship sector. And that's the Venus retrograde. So, yeah. Anybody have any questions? I'm going to do a little thing before we get into our closing meditation. I swear this flew by. Did it not? It feels like it. I swear, it's like I just started. I'm like, how am I at the meditation already? Even with the additional. But for those of you who are just joining or passing by on YouTube, hello to all of you, whether you're on my Facebook personal or my Facebook page or on YouTube. Thank you all for coming. I'm Debbie Tatel from Spirit Light Insight, and I'm so happy that all of you are here. We've talked about so much, a lot, and so, for one, I will say it's such a delight to have all of you here. But if anybody would like reading, I should put this up. You can book a session or sign up for a program. This will, even though this is a QR code, this will show up in your stream. So it'll show up in the chat, I believe, for the YouTube, as a link, and also on Facebook. So if you're ready to book a session, I would love to work with you. I am taking the next few days off for some birthday, probably way too much birthday cake on Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. But that's where we are. But the programs, you can see what's on there. I have healing sessions and all kinds of things on my website. SpiritLightInsight.com is my website. And so that was my booking site. So it's right on my website. If you want to support this channel and help us keep this going, if you've been enjoying these shows, right before we jump into the meditation, the TGIF, you are welcome. And it's always appreciated. And thank you so much for your generosity in the past few weeks. But you can support this stream with a virtual tip. Just again, there's links, or you can aim your phone at the QR code. But this will show up in the comments as a link, and that's always greatly appreciated. And I will personally send you a message and all of that. But it is always appreciated. Also, I know that we're doing a lot of meditations here, but I also have free guided meditations on my website. I have a lot of resources for you all. And I want to make it that way, right? Because I'm here to support you on your journey. So yes, I have readings and things like that, but I also offer free guided meditations. They're all laid out there, and there's quite a few of them. So we'll be doing those, and I'll be adding more. Also, by the way, if you look in the corner, there's like a little QR code. So that's also for the virtual tip right there. You can, if you revisit this, or if you're watching later on, you can always just point your phone at that little circle up there. And then down below here, do y'all see the butterfly? Is there a butterfly there? There should be a butterfly there. But again, if you're liking this content and everything, bop on over to YouTube and subscribe to the channel, like what you're seeing, and share with your friends. Because of course, the more the merrier. And thank you, Maria. That's greatly appreciated. So here we are at the portion where we really start to, yes, the butter. So hover over the butterfly, y'all, and see. I'm sure it'll show that you're subscribed. But oh yeah, that's a sneak peek at my new logo. I'm kind of a butterfly girl, and I decided that's where I need to go. So that's your little sneak peek that I wanted to put up. And Tammy's saying, hope you have a wonderful birthday. Thank you so much. Well, I hope you all stick around for this clearing the energy of July and giving you these tools to set your energy. This is a big deal, setting your energy instead of constantly responding to what everyone else throws at you. So, everybody, I hope you hang out and go through this, because this is a wonderful one, if I do say so myself. But give yourselves a breath and start by I'm sure you're in a comfortable seated position with your feet on the floor. Maybe not, but if you're not, go ahead and do that. Just sit upright with your feet on the floor. It helps with the energy flow. And then close your eyes and give yourself a breath. And as you breathe in, just begin to tune in with your body and your space and where you are. Get a sense of your feet on the floor, your physical body in the chair. And then gently close your eyes or turn your gaze downward. You might not be in a place where you're comfortable closing your eyes. And just start that process of, let's say, even gathering your thoughts. Just say hello to those thoughts. And just be right here and now. I know we had a long conversation earlier, but just be right here and now, and then go ahead and breathe. And you can even, as you exhale, release. A lot comes up when we have these conversations. Now move your attention behind your eyes and go ahead and even rest your eyes. It's a very relaxing space. Rest your attention behind your eyes in the center of your head. And there's no effort in doing this, and it's not even really a physical place. It's kind of something in your mind's eye that you create this space that's in the center of your head, center in your awareness, and say hello to all those thoughts running through your head and just let them be there. Just let them float right on by like a river. And imagine that that space in the center of your head is just for you, a sacred, joyful space where you're in charge, a space where you can give yourself a respite, where you step out of the loudness of the world and begin to turn your attention inward. You can create the center of your head as a space like a room where you've decorated it with all your favorite possessions. Or that center of headspace can be in the middle of a mountain field, just connected in that beautiful setting. But whatever that is for you in the center of your head, just go ahead and look around that space and see if anybody's there with you. And if you see little beady eyes on the in the painting, or you look around and it looks like an old frat party with beer cans and all of that, or there's people there, or work responsibilities, whatever's in the center of your head, go ahead and imagine that you are opening a door on the left of the center of your head, and that when you open that door, it's just going to get all the flotsam and jetsam and whatever stuff that's in there that's not you gets kind of just moves right on out, gets sucked out, and goes down a beautiful waterfall where it goes back to the center of the earth, goes back where it came from. And you don't have to worry about you getting sucked out of that space. That's your space. You belong. You are in there. And in fact, in the center of your head, go ahead and declare yourself by saying your name, I am, and really own that space. And breathe. And now say hello to the base of your spine, at the tip of your tailbone. That's where your first chakra is. And all you really have to do, you don't have to go down there from the center of your head. You can just say hello to that tip of your tailbone. And have your attention there for just a moment. And then from your mind's eye, that center of headspace, imagine or visualize that you're saying hello to Mother Earth and the center of the earth. And if you're in a place that is, the earth has been pretty stirred up lately, just it's not about the magma and all the things that you learned in school. Just go ahead and go beyond that into the beauty and support of the earth. The place where when you release energy, it gets recycled effortlessly and goes back to where it came from. Notice the consciousness and spaciousness in the center of the earth. And then in your mind's eye, out in front of you, I'd like you to imagine a beautiful, big, majestic tree. And you can make it any kind of tree, an oak tree or a redwood tree. I know people who use a birch tree. And if you're on here and you know how to run energy, just create that grounding connection and go ahead and start running your energy. But notice that big tree and how it's grounded and rooted all the way into the center of the earth. And imagine that you bring that tree and connect it right up to that base of your spine. You can imagine you're sitting on top of that tree and you're connected to the center of the earth. And then go ahead and begin that process of just breathe and then release. And see a flow of energy moving down the trunk of that tree, releasing into the earth. And notice what happens with your body as you are releasing. There'll be adjustments, and notice how you're feeling. Just go ahead and breathe and release. This is grounding. This is you connected with the earth and supported, and it gives you a place to release energy effortlessly and easily and smoothly. And this is also a place where you're connecting with the earth and the pulse of life itself. This is you grounded, connecting with life. And give yourself a breath. And give yourself space to be. Have you had space to be this week? Just to be exactly who you are. No facades, not necessary, where you could just be. And then notice, what were you being all week? And then open up a space just to be and start a reflection of not just the week, but the month of July. Just kind of, you can see the month as a whole. You might see various days. You might just see it as a whole month. But begin that process of noticing, and you can just be right in the center of your head, connected with the earth, and just breathe and release. Give yourself space to do that. But notice, what did you learn in the month of July? Did you have aha moments? Did you bring in wisdom that you've been searching for? And as you reflect on the month, it's okay if you were frustrated part of the month. Go ahead and just imagine just releasing that down that flow of energy in your grounding. Did you resist anything during the month, whether it was a person or your situation or whatever was going on in your life or your relationships? And just begin that process of releasing any lingering resistance to anything that happened or didn't happen. Maybe there were some things that you wanted to have happen and they didn't quite happen yet. Well, just go ahead and let those go so that you have room for new things that you would like to have happen. Maybe that was so yesterday, and now maybe you want something new. You might have wanted that thing to happen 2 months ago. Oh, I'm going to have that happen by July. And then, yeah, that's so yesterday. I'm way beyond that. So just begin to let go of any resistance to what happened, whether you liked it or didn't like it, or it didn't happen and you wanted it to happen. Just let go and start. We're going to start with a clean slate for August. Just notice what you're releasing. You might be noticing colors. You might be not seeing anything. Just hang with us and just experience being in this energy with this lovely group of like-minded souls willing to do this work. Give yourself a breath and begin to let go of any energy that has created any isolation or separation within you, whether it be resistance or judgment or anger or fear. All of those things cause separation within us. And when we're separated within, we become isolated and separated from others. So give yourself a breath and begin to release any resistance, judgment, anger, or fear that's kept your communications from others clear or from you having your clarity. And notice where your attention is, and then just be right back in the center of your head. And if you're yawning or if you are nodding off, give yourself more breath. If you're yawning, that is perfectly okay. That's actually a release from your fifth chakra, your clairaudient levels. And just rest that attention once again behind your eyes in the center of your head. And go ahead and begin to release anything that you're ready to let go of from the past week or the past month, anything you want to, instead of putting it behind you, go ahead and release it down your grounding. That flow and any of those energies, once again, just a reminder, Mother Earth supporting you. She's holding you in her arms and recycling all that energy that you're letting go. We're not creating landfill. This is a process of release and recycle. You can even let go of maybe there's some things that are coming up this year that were in your world last year. Go ahead and let those go, whatever those things are for you. Everybody's going to be different. And give yourselves a breath. And then just with a big fanfare, put a smile on your face and just breathe and release anything that no longer serves you, whether it is a job, the energy of a job, the energy of relationships, the energy of uh, whatever doesn't serve you. I could go on and on naming things, but it's not even worth it. You all have things that you're working on. In fact, go ahead and release anything that you're trying to figure out, that intellectual energy. Just let that go and create space for you to just receive your answers and see them and know them and have that information come to you. And just notice if there's a tingling in your feet and hands, and go ahead and put your hands um, up, facing up, your palms up in your lap. And just say hello to those feet and imagine that the energy, some of the energy from the earth is going to come in through your feet and begin to flow through you. And that you're going to then also have the cosmic energy from the cosmos begin to come in through the top of your head and flow through you, doing a beautiful dance within you. These cosmic and earth energies mix and begin to move through you and clean out your entire energy field. The energy field within you, and then that you're surrounded with. And just settle into that space. And now bring yourself into a space of present time awareness. Just wiggle your fingers and toes so that you have some kind of awareness of your physical body. And be here and now, just right now, where you are, as you are. That whatever's going on, if there's any kind of thing that's uncomfortable, just breathe into it. But just be right here and now and just see that there's this release going down your grounding and that there's a flow of energy moving through you, cleansing and helping you release anything that is resistant or fearful or not in alignment with your soul. Now, there are only a few more days, there's still a few more days left in July, but you can set your energy for the new month because we've got all these retrogrades coming up. So why not set your energy so that you're in charge of what happens in August? You're in charge of kind of the energy set versus just going along with everyone else's vibration. So for now, I'd like you to imagine that you're starting to call back all of your life force into a beautiful golden sun above your head. Let's notice that beautiful golden sun and call your energy and attention and life force back from the week and the whole month. And you can do a whole year if you want, but you can start to call back your life force into that month. And as you're calling back your energy, your life force, I'd like you to begin reflecting on what that which brings you joy. What has brought you joy in the last week or the last month? Maybe you notice a color that comes up in your mind, or maybe you notice a situation or a snapshot or a picture. And just give yourself a breath and just begin to embrace what brought you joy and what brings you joy. Maybe it's your fur babies, maybe it's an ice cream cone, maybe it's like the cake we talked about in the beginning, but what brings you joy? And give yourselves a breath. And then while that gold sun is growing above your head, filling with your life force, go ahead and reflect on and connect with your inner strength, that power center, your courage, your fortitude, your ability to come through even the most challenging situations. It might not be pretty, but you've gotten through them in the past because you're here and now. So just begin to notice how strong you really are, how brave and courageous you really are, how empowered you are when you're in this space. Go ahead and just breathe and release anything that's now coming out as you reflect on these things. Because as you focus on your inner strength, anything, any pictures, any vibrations that are not in that strength are going to gently flow away down your grounding. Give yourself a breath and say hello to your intuition and inner guidance systems. Connect with yourself and the spirit that you are by resting your attention behind your eyes and seeing with the eye of spirit. Give yourself a breath and focus on trusting all that you are, and know that you have the strength and ability to see and know and create a path forward no matter where you are in life, no matter what your process, no matter what your challenges, that you have the ability and the strength as the spirit that you are to create a path forward, to create your path forward. And then give yourself a breath and just say hello to that gold sun that's above your head. And I'd like you to just let that slip right on through into your crown chakra, that energy center at the top of your head. And it's going to begin to fill up your whole body with your own life force. Notice what your experience is as you're bringing it in, and it fills up your head and your neck and your shoulders and your belly and your hips and your legs. And then it begins to expand and fill up your energetic field, your energy field, your aura, your bubble, whatever you'd like to call it. And imagine just being filled with a gold sun, filled with your own life force energy. And take a moment to just breathe and experience all of that light, all of being in the center of your head, and noticing where's the edge of that energy field or your aura. And go ahead and pull that in or move it out to about 6 feet around you. Sometimes we hold it very, very close in. And sometimes we have it very, very, very far out. So wherever you are, make that adjustment so that it's about 6 feet around you. And give yourselves a breath. And from that space, I'd like you to once again just check that you're resting your attention behind your eyes in the center of your head, center of your awareness, the seat of your soul, the place where you're in charge. And just I'd like you to imagine that that crown chakra, that energy center right at the top of your head, is just all gold. And once that is all gold, just notice any shifts or changes within your grounding, your connection with the earth, or your relationship with your body. And out in front of you, I'd like you to imagine as if you are creating your own world of August, the month of August. It might have dates in it, it might not. You're actually creating a world. What would be in that world as you build it? Are there buildings in that world that you would like? Are there vibrations that you would like to experience? I like to think of this like walking down a forest path, and that I keep opening up clearings that are parts of whatever that month is, and the parts that I would like to have in there. So maybe you want some new friendships. So you're going to have part of that world is going to be new friendships. Part of that new world might be deciding if you're in a career path or something that you would like some new opportunities. Yeah. Or some, maybe you want to experience rich relationships or communications. Maybe you want to create something new. What does this world look like? And how fun, and maybe you want a world, part of your August is joyful and fun and relaxing. Maybe it's a vacation. And you don't even have to see the details. You can kind of get a sense of the vibrations and a sense that it's a possibility. And nothing is off the table here. We're just imagining, right? So you don't even have to, oh, that's not real. That would never happen. Put it out there. Whatever it is, humor me when you put it out there. It's all good. Then notice, are you strolling through August, enjoying August? Like a beautiful, calm respite that we're being offered during these all these planets in retrograde or about to go retrograde? Or are you running through it? And which would you like to do? Do you want to run through it and jog a marathon? Or do you want to stroll and enjoy like Sunday afternoon in the park with George? That's a play, but it's also a famous painting, Sunday Afternoon in the Park. And then if you're creating something new, just say hello to the excitement and the vibration. And you can really work, I know I'm having you kind of look at these things, but you can also work at a feeling level. When you come to a clearing, maybe you want some joy, and so you can experience a moment of that joy. If you want some enjoyment, you can experience that. So what does your world look like? Is it like Willy Wonka's chocolate factory, like chocolate world with rivers of chocolate running through it? Use your imagination and just breathe and release anything that says, oh, this isn't real, or this can't happen, or I don't know what I'm doing, or I'm not seeing anything. Just use your imagination. It's like looking up at a cloud and seeing a dog or a cat. This is the same thing. So imagine just kind of looking at this month as you wish it to be. And give yourselves a breath. And just notice what's happening as you stroll through your world of August. And then I'd like you to just be right back in the center of your head and imagine a rose right out in front of you that represents the month of August. And let all those images and everything you were looking at, everything you were wishing, everything you were putting out there, all the possibilities and opportunities that you would like to have in August, including the spiritual energies you'd like to release. Maybe you'd like to release fear, resistance. You can put those in there too. But imagine that everything you were looking at in your world of August arcs off and goes right into that rose that's out in front of you. And that rose is so strong, and it's just going to grow and expand as you add all the pieces from your world, from your August of what you would like to have and what you can have. Imagine a month where you set the energy, someone else isn't setting it for you. And go ahead and breathe and release as more of that, of your, what we can call them daydreams or dreams or images or vibrations, whatever it is that you were noticing or thinking about goes into that rose. And whatever color you made that rose, I'd like you to ask yourself, what color represents the primary energy you want to experience? So maybe it's peace. Maybe you want to experience peace or calm. What color would that be? It doesn't matter what color it is. Maybe you just want to experience being in a joyful space. And maybe that's represented by your favorite color or a color you like to wear. It's your choice. If you want an enthusiastic August or an August of opportunities, what might those colors be for you? What does that mean for you? Are they blue or are they green or are they purple? Are they golden? What are those? What does it represent to you? Everyone here will probably have a different color that they're working with, even if you're looking at the same thing. But the one you're visualizing is your rose. It's just for you. It is your month of August and uniquely represents the energy you want to set for the month. This energy, this color, it's not better or worse than anyone else's. It's uniquely yours, right next to your neighbor or whoever. And that everybody can have that space of setting their own energy. It's not about controlling others or not allowing others to have their space and their vision. Be in your own space and everybody wins. They get to have theirs and you get to have yours. And now imagine that rose that you put all those images in, go ahead and explode that rose in a beautiful flash of light. And imagine another rose that is the color of the primary energy, the primary experience that you would like to have for August. What is the color you would like to set? Maybe it's spring green for joy. Maybe it's spiritual purple. There's so many things. Maybe it's opportunity yellow. Whatever that is for you, what would you like to see? What would you like to have? And you can just have that all into that rose. Hand it to that rose, and then just see that rose as grounded, like it's planted right in the ground and it's connected and supported by Mother Earth. And just notice that beautiful color, whatever color is yours. Notice the details of the rose. Maybe it's very full, opened, and lush leaves. Just have that rose fill up with how you want to feel, what you'd like to experience, what adventures you'd like to go on, what you want to explore. Whether it's physical, spiritual, personal, career, or just giving yourself a break. Just create that rose and then sprinkle in some things you want to know. Maybe you want to bring in some wisdom and clarity and awareness. What do you want to access? See that rose as grounded, full, and bright. And imagine a gold sun shining on that rose and cleaning anyone else's energy out of that rose so that you could just imagine it washing through that rose, giving it kind of just a nice spruce up if need be. And go ahead and give yourself a breath and then release. And I'd like you to take that rose and put that right into your crown chakra at the top of your head and allow your crown chakra to turn into that color. Whatever color you chose, just let that turn that color and experience what that feels like to set your own energy in that space. Setting it for August. Notice what you're experiencing in present time. You saw August as grounded, not willy-nilly. You created a space to have it and set the energy for it. And then go ahead and just bring that crown chakra, that energy center at the top of your head. Just imagine that it's going all gold, just all gold. And bring your attention back to the center of your head and simply experience being grounded, having set the energy for the month. Notice that grounding. And in fact, why don't you go ahead and just release that grounding cord that you've been using because you're in a different space now, and create a new one in present time that's going to serve you, that's going to handle your growth, that's going to handle all of the energies about revisit, refresh, revise, revitalize. And that you now have a new, exciting connection with the earth, filled with renewed energy and vitality. And then give yourself a breath and move your attention once again in the center of your awareness, in the center of your head. And create another gold sun above your head like you did before, filled with life and joy and enthusiasm and things that you would like to have and really bring in. Maybe you want some enthusiasm. Maybe you want an ice cream cone. I'm going to have cake. Someone else is going to have pie. Someone else is going to have a hot date. But what's the energy that you would like to bring back that's all new? And just call that into that gold sun, and even call more of your life force back into that gold sun. You all released so much energy. And anytime we do this kind of work, we want to uh, replenish our energy. We want to give back to ourselves so that everything that is released, it just gets washed right out even more, that we create space for ourselves. So notice that gold sun at the top of your head, and go ahead and bring that, just shine that down and fill up that energy center at the top of your head, that crown chakra. Fill up your whole head and neck, shoulders, arms. Fill up your belly, your hips, your legs, your knees. Ooh, especially knees, your legs. It's a never ending gold sun that fills you up from top to bottom, bottom to top, side to side, front to back. And then it will begin to expand out into your energy field, into your aura, until you're finally sitting in a bubble of gold energy. And that gold is filling up all the systems in your body, your respiratory system, circulatory system, all the cells, everything in your body, and the different layers of your aura. Go ahead and breathe and release. Just bring your attention back into the center of your head if it moved out, and then put a beautiful, big, giant smile on your face as you give yourself that final deep breath in, and slowly exhale and start to bring your attention back to where you are. Go ahead and pat your legs, maybe give yourselves, actually, you can all give yourselves a big giant hug. Thank yourselves for being here. And then just when you're ready, just go ahead and take a stretch and just gently open your eyes and look around your room. Come back slowly, slowly. Return to yourself. And you can even stand up and bend over and dump out. Really shake out the neck and shoulders as you come back. And wow, you did great. Thank you so much. That is a beautiful meditation. Congratulations. So what was your experience? I know it might take a little bit to get to the keyboard or type or one finger your phone, whatever that is, whatever device you are on. But what was your experience and what did you notice? Even if you kind of came and went, this is a lot, but that's how to set energy. That's a really powerful um, tool that we even teach beginning clairvoyant students, and even meditation students about setting the energy, because it really puts you in charge. And what a great place to be. We spend so much of our time responding to others and responding to how they set the energy or how they want the energy. And isn't it nice to know that we can do that for ourselves? And it's amazing that we started this space talking about UFOs and all of that. And then we talked about all the retrogrades and all the planets in retrograde. So if you hadn't listened to the beginning, go back. If you're wondering what I'm talking about, at your leisure. Thank you all for being here. But goodness, I'd love to hear from you, and what's going on. I know that there's a delay, so I keep talking. Um, Interesting. So Maria said she almost fell asleep, but felt jolted out. Yeah, you brought yourself back. Congratulations. Richard, thank you. I felt like I was able to step back and grid the energy for next month. Yeah. You're very welcome. Good job. Everyone did great. People came and went, and I saw some people popped on a little bit later and jumped in. Um, Tom, thank you for being here. Your meditation tonight helped me reset my energy for the month of August. Really appreciate it. I really appreciate you being here. Thank you so much. I'm glad you were able to participate, and it really does. It changes our mind when we do these things. And this was yeah, again, this was something I didn't necessarily plan until I was putting it all together. But good grounding, purple rose with yellow and emerald green base. Oh, that's so beautiful. And didn't that feel good to have that and give that to yourself? It's like we so often we give to others, or we resist giving to others, and so that's beautiful. Janet, thank you. I'm so glad that it was great. It really is. I mean, this was really a great reset. And just so you know, I will do this as a standalone meditation, so it'll be up for forever probably, but I'll cut it out of the TGIF so that you have it just to refer back to, which will be great. Peter, oh Peter, thank you. I'm so glad that you were able to stay for this whole time. There was so much in mind. You kind of came to mind with the meditation as I was doing it. You popped into my mind that this might be really good. So I'm glad that you got the all call from my telepathy. Come on down. So I'm so glad that you all were able to participate and stuck with it, and yeah, and you all did great. I mean, it's amazing. You're all experiencing maybe these techniques for the first time, and I can see by the energy and the shift of energy how wonderful. So yeah, we are in a time of great transformation, not just shift, but full on transformation. We're going to be seeing a lot of truths come out during this time. We're going to see things that are going to feel very familiar, but we might not know why that's really coming. But we are in such a great time of transformation as we evolve and change and expand and bring light. We are the ones bringing in the light. By doing this today, we're bringing in the light. And then, just like 6 degrees of separation, you go off into the world and you meet all these different people, and then they meet all these different people. And this is how the light expands. And Tammy, you are so welcome. It is my pleasure. I really love doing this for you, for all of you. It's a thing to create, and each and every one of us is participating in this evolution, in this change, in this transformation, in this shift in consciousness and collective consciousness. And that is such a great thing, and so beautiful to see all the collective consciousness as it expands and changes. And that's not to say it's not without growth, and that's not to say it's not without pain as we go through it. But when we can come together and set energy like this, it's amazing. So I'm absolutely so delighted that you're enjoying, what we're doing here. As Richard said, we started out this shebang with we're creating my birthday weekend. This is Monday's my birthday, July 31st, very end of the year, 6:02 p.m. And I'll tell you, because now it's at the end. So 1960. So that's my birth year for all you astrologers out there. So thank you so much. But I really want to thank each and every one of you who show up and share in this space, because it's what we're all creating. And so, right before I go, if you're enjoying what we're doing here, you can do the QR code up in the corner here. You can point your phone at that and support the stream with a nice virtual tip, or you can check the links that are going to show up in the comment sections of whether you're on Facebook or YouTube. That'll be from the virtual tip jar. If you're on Facebook, my Facebook page, you can give stars. If you know how to do that, most people don't know how to do that, so I'm still doing this, but you're welcome to give stars if you're liking what we're doing. If you're ready to book a session, I'm putting up the links for that right now, but go ahead and book a session. I do 45-minute, 60-minute, 90-minute, whatever healing packages, whatever you need, I'm here for that. And most exciting is that starting September 6th, mark it down on your calendars. If you would like to join me for a 6-week class series on psychic healing foundations, it is starting September 6th. The information is all on my website under the Psychic Healing Foundations class. You can use the QR code here, or that link will show up in your timeline. I would love to have a really big class of community-minded souls in that space. So yeah, and so just have a look at all the information there, because it's all there for you. So I'm gonna put up the chat. Oh, wow. Oh, I love you, Tam. Oh, that's so awesome. Um, I love it. Tom says, happy 39th birthday on Monday. I love you, Tom. Thank you. I don't even know you yet, but I love you. Thank you so much for that. Wow, that was great. Thank you. Yeah, see, sometimes I forget. But wow, we are just winding down. I had a good crowd of you today. I'm so thrilled. We will keep these up. Boy, for somebody who wasn't going to do a live today, I sure managed to do a live. So I once again, thank you so much for your support and sharing and helping me create this space, because if you don't come to the space, I can't create it. And I love this give and take that's happening. So my goodness, thank you so much. I appreciate your continued support um, as it goes. If you have any questions or you're interested in kind of anything, do visit my website, spiritlightinsight.com. I didn't even put that up at all, but I could do that. So this is my full website, spiritlightinsight.com. Please visit, look at what there is. I am redoing the website, of course, because Mercury retrograde is coming up, so I'm redoing things. But visit the website anyway. It's in progress. But for everyone now, and thank you for all the birthday wishes and cake suggestions and all of that. But everyone, have a wonderful week. Have a wonderful weekend. A wonderful new week. A great start to retrograde August. Happy full moon, which is happening on August 1st. And of course, my regular sign off for the night. Thank you all for being here. But keep your spirit light in sight and shine your light for all to see. Bye for now.